Hello everyone, David here. So a while ago I made a video called my ultra portable guitar rig, and it was basically a double guitar bag with some extra things bolted onto it and a pedal board. And that was pretty great because the pedal board had my Line 6 HX Stomp on it, so it had all of my amp simulator sounds on there. So this was actually all I needed to take to a gig. And this being a double guitar bag meant I had a backup guitar as well. Now, this has been fine, but it does have a couple of caveats. Being a double guitar bag means that it does take up a lot of space and it won't fit in the boot of my car. And this pedal board bag is kind of annoying, especially when I've got the double guitar case as well, because I can sort of sling it over my shoulder and then inevitably it falls off. And if I've got a great big double guitar case on my back at the time, that's really annoying. So what I want is an even lighter setup that's going to be useful for rehearsals, where I don't really need a backup guitar because my band can wait 5 minutes for me to put on a new string if I break one. And also I want to make this pedal board a little bit smaller so that it'll go in a bag with some other equipment like a mixer and some in-ear headphones and things like that. So here's the plan. If you walk this way. I'm going to stick with the same mono M80 guitar bag, but this is the single model, so it just takes one guitar, and it's still got the same straps for the tick, which is the bag that goes on the front, and that will just go on exactly the same on the front here, so they're kind of interchangeable. And it means if I do go back to a full gig and I need my double guitar bag, I just basically need to put it back on the double bag and take that one instead. They're interchangeable and compatible. And then the idea with this bag is that I get everything else in there. So part of this has come about because I'm using my HX Stomp in a different way. I used to have each switch turn on a different guitar sound, but what I've done now is I use these two for sound up and down, and then I use this third switch for activating a tuner. And then that meant that this final pedal over here, which used to be my tuner, it meant I didn't need it anymore. So I've now swapped that out for a chorus pedal, but I found I'm not even using this very much because this has got chorus sounds built into it if I want it. So the idea is to take this Nano Plus pedal board and just downsize it to the Nano, and then that should just about get those 3 pedals on. It's a little bit tight, but I think it'll work. And the great thing about the Nano is that it still has space underneath to mount the power supply, which is just a convenient way of powering all the pedals at one time. Again, it's going to be a bit of a tight fit, but I think it'll work. And then the Nano fits inside this bag, which is actually kind of meant for photography, like for cameras and lenses, but it actually works really well as a kind of like a guitar equipment bag where you could fit a pedal board and then a mixer and maybe like the multi-plug adapter in there. So this should have all of the space I need, and it's padded, so it should keep it safe while I'm on the move. Yeah, and this just means that it's more comfortable carrying a rucksack around than kind of a soft carry case that will fall off your shoulder. So yeah, hopefully this will work out nicely. Okay, it's done, very nearly. I've got everything hooked up, got the power supply underneath, it's feeding power to each of the pedals. They all work and they're in the right place. I'm just going to do a quick tally of all of the sounds, make sure they're kind of present and correct. So first of all, my main sort of distorted sound. Then my lead sound. white sound. So this is sort of clean, crunchy stuff. And then the acoustic simulator. And finally, let's check the wah pedal works. Yeah, okay, so it's all working, but things have had to change a little bit because it's a smaller layout. If you take a look underneath, one thing I'm not super happy about is there isn't much clearance between the power cable and the end of the board. So this cable has got a little bit of extra sort of force on it that I don't like. It'll probably develop a bend over time, but I wish it just had a bit more clearance and could be straighter. Also, getting the cable out to the HX Stomp, the power cable for it, is going to be a bit of a challenge. I'm going to have to go around the side or around this side, or try and tuck this bit next to the foot of the pedal. So that's not ideal, but I think I can just cover it with enough gaffer tape and that'll sort itself out. And these power supply cables are fine where they are, I don't mind those. One thing I will want to change though is I've got these really cool tiny patch leads here, but I ran out, I only have 2 of those. So I'm gonna have to pick up another one and then put it in here because I've had to use this bigger patch cable for now, which works but doesn't look as good. So I'll replace that and that'll tidy that up a little bit. So, but mostly I'm happy with it and it's sort of the size I want. You might be looking at this and think, why do you have wah-wah going into your acoustic simulator? That's a ridiculous pedal chain. And the answer is mostly because I want the wah-wah pedal really far off to the side. When I have my wah in between other pedals, I had a slight tendency to stomp on them by mistake. And the last thing I want to do is hit my wah pedal and turn on the acoustic simulator, because that's definitely not the sound I'm going to be going for at the time. So for that reason, the wah pedal is off to the far right, and it does go through the acoustic simulator, but that won't be active at any time I'm using the wah. And then the acoustic simulator has got 2 outputs. So usually it's a pass-through, which goes through to the Stomp for 1 channel. And then the other output goes into the right input on the HX Stomp. And in my patch, I split the channel here and then deal with the solo sound and the acoustic sound separately. And they get mixed together right at the end. And that way I can just give a single mono output to the sound engineer and he's got my electric guitar sound and my acoustic sound together. It means he won't be able to adjust the mix between them, but usually it's a good thing for me because it means the fader for my acoustic channel won't be all the way down when I switch to it. There won't be any nasty surprises during the gig. What I plan to do later is, if I'm working with a sound engineer I know well and he will have a separate channel just for the acoustic, I can then actually unplug this and feed him the acoustic simulator channel separately, so he does have control. So there's the option to make it more complicated, but typically I'll just run with this like simpler and more reliable setup. Okay, let's unplug everything and see how it all fits in the bag and how it all works all together and if it's still ultra portable. And here we go, this is the final, I think, setup. Single guitar on my back with the kind of guitar related accessories in there in the tick bag and also its bag. And then on my front, the pedal board and its kind of related accessories. And it's definitely lighter than the double guitar setup. And this is not gonna like go flying off while I take a gentle jog down the street to catch the bus. So I'm pretty happy with the setup. It doesn't look great. I do look like a traveling musician, but it's actually pretty practical. So let me show you what's in all of the bags now. So as I said, My lovely guitar is in there, pretty sturdy and secure. And then in this add-on bag, which is called the Tick, this is much lighter and there's a bit more room for some extra stuff in the future. Basically in here now I've got a DI box, which some sound engineers really like musicians to bring with them, so they're kind of ready to go straight into the desk at the back of the room. A portable guitar stand, and then a multi-plug adapter. This is the one thing I might have liked to have in there, but it just makes slightly better distribution sense to have it in there. In here I've got lots of guitar jack cables and extra leads that I might need on the move. So yeah, kind of more guitar related. So if I do literally just need a guitar, I can take this case. Okay, onto the pedal board. So this fits pretty well into this Amazon Basics photography rucksack. So I've got the pedal board itself in here in the middle section. Again, just needs a little bit of tidying up with some duct tape, and that'll make all of the loose cables much more secure. But it goes in there. It's not going to be moving around while I'm on the move, so I feel pretty happy about that being there. And then I've got lots of other various things here. So I've got a mixer, so I can monitor the band's mix. If I'm lucky, it's tailored to me as well, and I can listen to that with some headphones. And I've got in-ear earphones in here as well. So these are like pretty standard. They're not cheap, but they won't break the bank. They're quite good for sound insulation, so you don't get deafened by cymbals or other loud instruments being played acoustically behind you. And just a little headphone extension cable for that. And then I've got the power supply cord. It's just like a kettle lead for the pedal board itself. And then the power supply for the mixer. And then some other kind of random odds and ends, like some fast fret lubricant just to make my strings a bit more slippy. A standalone tuner if I don't have access to power and just want to tune up my guitar backstage or something when I'm away from my pedal board. And then some extra patch cables and power supply adapters for the one spot pedal board. And that's it, and it gives me a little bit of extra room now. If I've got some other odds and ends, like some papers or sandwich, you know, it can go in there while I'm traveling. And then there's another section back here for, you know, whatever else will fit in there. So the cool thing is that when you're going to a gig or a rehearsal, there's always something else you need to take, like some document, some box. So I'm hoping that that will fit in the extra space I've got in this setup, and I'm not going to be lugging around some other heavy bag. But if I do, I've got, you know, a hand free now to carry it while I'm on my way to band practice. So I'm pretty happy with the setup. I'm going to give it a try. I want to go to a rehearsal and see what it's like to travel on the train to and from the practice with this kit. And I'm hopeful it's going to be good, but time will tell. Okay, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, then hit the like button down there, and you can help me out by subscribing to my channel as well. Okay, see you next time.